All right, everybody, welcome to the fourth episode of Talkin Shyte. This week we've got DYLANFOOTY from TikTok. Dylan, how's it going?
Not too bad for yourself.
Aye, grand, can't complain. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks from I've made an episode of this and just been struggling to get guests and stuff there, but sure, we got one now.
You have me now, so
Have
you're all
you
good.
Now? We can see you're sitting in Old Trafford there.
I'm sitting in Old Trafford, the best day.
By yourself, you're meant to be facing the pitch.
Yeah. Commentary again,
Aye. But anyway, we'll get started about TikTok. So basically, obviously, TikTok's got really popular over the last couple of years. When did you start TikTok, and what made you want to get into TikTok or want to start making TikTok videos?
So basically, I started TikTok in, was it June or July last year? There was a mate of mine that was after passing away in the March, and I wanted to. The two of us were talking about starting a charity before he died, and sure, the easiest way to start a charity is with a bit of a following behind you. So that's why I started. I wanted to see if I could get a bit of a following and then go from there. So that's led on to an awful lot of things. I'm doing a couple of charity games. I'm doing another one now in May, and I'm going to do my own one in Ireland as well,
Right.
to raise for Young Minds Ireland. So it'll take a while to start up your own charity,
Yeah.
but in the meantime, to raise the money for other charities like the one that I'll be starting.
That's really good. I'm sorry to hear about your friend, but that's obviously a good thing for you to do, to continue to basically try and raise your profile to start a charity and all that there. You don't get many people doing that. Most of them is all for social gain for themselves, but that's pretty good that you're doing it for charity and all that.
Yeah, I feel that he deserved to leave more on this earth than what he left behind. So this is just my way of doing something for him now.
Yeah. You don't mind me asking what age was he?
He was 36.
36. It's young. It's definitely young. So it is.
Yeah.
So did you start off just with football videos or football TikTok, or did you do other TikTok videos at the start?
No, when I first started TikTok, like as in downloaded the actual app, I put up like 1 or 2 stupid videos, but I never got into it. I never had any interest in uploading videos. But the only thing that I knew that I'd get any bit of a following from was talking about football. So that's why I went down that route, and it just kind of took off from there, really.
Yeah. So I take it, would you have seen the likes of Paddy's videos and Tom Garrett and stuff? Would you have seen them and thought, I can do that and talk about football and basically?
There was a lot of people on the app at the time. Now, there wasn't too many football TikTokers. I think when I joined, it was on probably only 9 or 10 of them, really. But like an awful lot of them spoke a lot of shite, and I said, if they can get followers and views by what they're talking about, I know for a fact that I can do it. You know, so that's kind of where it started from.
Yeah. Fuck, there is a lot of people talking shit on TikTok, but then again, like a lot of ones do it because they know straight away they're going to get reactions out of people, even if they don't necessarily believe their opinions or what they're saying on TikTok. So sometimes I think you'll get people who are deliberately trying to rile people up, even if they don't believe what they're saying. Do you think?
I was never really one for that myself, right? I don't mind like the odd bit of bait or whatever to keep in, but I was never really for that. I'd rather the followers that I have follow me because they think that I'm talking sense, as opposed to getting a low way. Like you could get way more of a following by talking absolute scuffle, but that's just not in me to do. Like,
yeah, just as you mentioned there about the bait, I remember I seen one of your videos maybe about a month back. Started off, Virgil van Dijk is not one of the greatest centre backs or whatever. I was like, there's no way he's going to be serious here. Then just the end of it, he's not one of the best. He's the best.
Yeah. No, you see, it kind of works well for if you're selling stuff, because you have to use the algorithm of TikTok to get views in. So like that video got something like 60,000 views or something. There was a lot of orders that went through as well. So a lot of sales that come off the back of that. So you just have to.
Right, yes.
You couldn't do it again though. Do you know what I mean? Because people, what you're doing. It was good time thing, really.
And as you say, orders there, is that for the Mystery King jerseys or whatever? I seen you're like sort of affiliated with them. How did that come about?
I think they message me. They kind of message you after you hit a certain type of a following.
Right.
Generally, it's all football TikTokers that do it. And they asked me if I wanted to be an affiliate for them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I said yeah, because you get a certain percentage of the jerseys that you sell.
Yeah.
And obviously, followers get a percentage of like they get a percentage off as well. So they get 10% off through my code. So it helps me, helps them, and obviously helps the my followers as well. So I after I hit 20K or something like that, they text me and ask me if I wanted to get onto it. But yeah, no, it's gone very well. They're really good, like really good authentic jerseys to work for as well. There's never a problem with money or anything like that.
Did they send you out one as well, or do you have to buy?
No. They one every month, kind of. Yeah.
Right. That's not too bad then.
I definitely would not be buying them anyway. No, they send them out. They send them out for free.
Right. So what jerseys have you got off them so far?
The first jersey I got off them, would you believe, was funny. I got a Villarreal jersey just after they bet us in the final.
Fuck's sake.
But mystery jersey King, they do things like that. Like, you know, just like they sent Tom and Wolves a while ago.
Yes, I've seen that. I've seen that.
They can do stuff like that. I've gotten 2 jerseys for the Mexican League. I got one from the MLS. I actually got another one, DC United jersey from them the last time. I've gotten a few jerseys now, but the next one now apparently is supposed to be a banger. They're sending that out soon, so I'll see what it is.
I love getting football jerseys that you don't really see many people wearing. Like the kind of thing, if you're wearing that jersey about, people like, what the fuck? What jersey? People may not even recognize the jersey you're in. I like jerseys like that.
Yeah, I understand. I went into my barber there not so long ago, and he was wearing a jersey with like a beige color, right? So it was like the Liverpool third kit, the kind of
yeah.
It was that color. Had a bit of a collar on it, and then it was it had like all the countries of the world all over it. I've never seen a jersey. No matter what team it was, but it was absolutely unreal. I love.
So obviously you're in the football now, but are you into the Gaelic or hurling or anything like that?
No, I'd watch it if it was on, really, but I'm not can't lie and say I'm massively interested in it. No, I wouldn't go out my way to a hurling game, but I would go on my way to watch a football game.
Yes. Where are you from?
Tipperary.
See, they'd be more of a hurling county, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they'd be more. Like I've gone to a few hurling games. Like, you know, if they were in the if it was not Ireland semi or quarter or final, I'd probably go to it. But that's more just for the session than that else.
Yeah, it's funny. Paddy said the exact same thing. He'd be more of a like just football fan than Gaelic or hurling. And it's like because you're from the south, we would think, oh, yous are bound to be into Gaelic or hurling more than the soccer. Like, because if you talk to most people up here in the north, like if you say football to somebody, straight away they're going to think Gaelic. And I hate having to differentiate and then say soccer. I really hate saying soccer. Hey.
Yeah. I hate saying soccer too. It just sounds so. It's like an Americanism.
I
always say football, but no, most of the time I'm talking about actual football, not Gaelic football.
Yeah, and you play football as well, don't you?
Yeah, I play for my local club here. Yeah, Torres.
I always wondered, the way, like, obviously we don't have Sunday league here. Like, I'm assuming your games are on a Saturday, aren't they?
Sunday.
So they are Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Like, I thought
it's all youth games that are on a Saturday, and then it's generally the men's game are on a Sunday.
Right. See, up here, I've never heard of any matches up here being on a Sunday. Like all the games that we would play up here are usually there's like a morning league 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and then like an afternoon league at 2 o'clock on the Saturdays. I always wondered what it'd be like compared to like the Sunday league in England. Like do you ever wonder what the difference in standard would be, or would you say it's a similar standard? Do you think?
Often when I go over to the UK for anything, right? Like go to the match for my game. I go for a couple of United matches a year. We go over for a few days, and I'd often nip in to see like a Saturday evening game for my youth's game. And yeah, the standard is generally better than what it is in Ireland.
Is it?
It's the same at the elite level, or the elite level in Ireland is obviously way lower.
Yeah,
and it's definitely like that the whole way through grassroots football.
Yeah. Have you played in any of them charity matches so far? You have, haven't you?
Yeah, I played in the Mastermind one last year in October.
Who all was playing in that?
Who else was playing?
Like any big, like the big TikTokers around. Who was?
Tom Garrett was there. Tyler Dragon was there. Jess Watkins was there. I'm trying to think of who else. Do you know Luke Solve Collectibles? He was there.
Yeah.
There was a nice few big creators at that one.
Yeah.
Cal, biggest.
Yes.
But Simple Simon was there as well, and he'd be one of the ones now, I suppose. But he was just kind of Cal's up back then.
What sort of standard were they at playing football? Like, were any of them absolutely awful?
There was a couple of good footballers there. Like I thought Tom was good. Tom was pro, so he was bound to be. Jess Watkins, I think it's her boyfriend, but he's semi-pro. I think his name is Harry Kane. He was very good.
Right.
Grovesy was good there as well, and Luke wasn't too bad as a centre back either. But there's a couple of good players there. Jess Watkins was, like, I think that she was probably the second or third best player there.
Serious?
No, she was unreal though. Like, she was very, very good. She plays, I think, it's a semi-pro over in the UK as well. She's very, very good, yeah.
And where were you on that list?
Other people decide that. I'm kind of more the like defensive side of it, so
yes.
I can get the ball to people like Tom or there was a few more up there as well, but I just kind of get the ball to them. Sammy D was another very good footballer. But I just kind of got the ball back, give it to them, and that was it. We won anyway, so man.
Yeah. When did you say that match took place? Was that early last year, or was it in the summer? October. I thought there was a match that got played around like last March or April. Maybe I'm thinking of a different match.
Would have been the Gators Cup. They generally do that. That
might have been the one.
The Mastermind game is on again in July, I believe.
July.
This for 2nd of July this year. And I'm supposed to be playing in that as well. So
right. And is it the only one, or have you another couple to play in, or?
I'm playing in the Goals for Gosh one as well in May. That's played at Selhurst Park in Crystal Palace Estate.
Class. That would be lethal there.
That's more of like a 6-a-side kind of a thing, but I can't give too much away about it yet.
Right. Yes. So you like your rise on TikTok, would you say that like, was there any videos that blew up and you just gained a load of followers, or would you say it was just like a steady sort of increase over time?
I think it was a steady increase over time. You get times like where you're stuck on the same amount of followers for a week or 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden you spend the next 2 weeks you could be after getting 2,000 or 3,000, 4,000 followers. But I can't see any particular video actually stood out. I just kind of like the first 10,000 followers I got were in, I think, was a month or 2 months or something like that. So then it just kind of gradually went up then from there. But no, there was no mad video that went out that got me a load of followers.
No. I suppose that would usually with the football TikTokers, that seems to be the case. Like, it's generally like it's just opinions, and I haven't really seen anybody that just blows up out of nowhere. It just seems to be, as you say, like a steady increase over time. I want to talk about TikTok's version of Coronation Street now. Astrid, Cal, Simon, Ed Matthews, all that carry on. What's your thoughts on the whole show?
I think, right, and I've heard a couple of people say, I think Flute said it there a while ago. I think they're all in one group chat, and they all know what's going on.
Yeah,
I think that there's no way that Simon is as cringe as what he is when he's talking about Ed. And there's no way Ed actually thinks it's a good idea to go fighting a 51-year-old. But Cal, I think, is I think like people think of Cal as some sort of idiot that doesn't know anything. Like Cal is intelligent. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He has 1.4 million followers on this platform on TikTok.
Yeah.
So he knows exactly what he's doing. Everybody knows who he is. He's like he was collaborating with Jimmy Bullard there not so long ago. And like he's famous over there. Like so I think that they all know what they're doing. I think they all know what's going on. Maybe the Ed and Astra thing at the start was actual beef. But I think, in my own opinion, I think that they all know what's going on since then. They're all
I think they obviously do, as you say, they know what's going on. They're being deliberately cringy, I think, too. Because like, you go onto every video they make these days, it's just people taking the piss out of them on every video, like, and they obviously know that's getting views and stuff like that. There might not be like views are views to everybody, regardless of good, bad, or indifferent or whatever. So they know it's working, it's getting them followers and whatnot. And there'll obviously be some people in there enjoying it, but I think that people are quick to call out, them like American boys that do all these fucking thirst trap videos and stuff like that. You ever see the videos of the boys walking into the elevator and they're like, oh, whenever you catch people's eyes, and then people are always quick to call them videos out and say, what the fuck are them boys doing? Like, that's cringy as fuck. I think the Simon and Cal and stuff is on the same level as that. It needs to be called out.
Yeah, no, I think the very same, to be honest. I think it's, like you said, it's like an episode of Coronation Street. It's just like, I don't know, it's so cringy, and I know it's carrying UK TikTok at the minute, but like, I have no interest in it. I know Astrid as well a bit, so like we follow each other on all platforms, and I was talking to her about it, and at the start it was genuine beef. I know that for a fact, but since then I think they realize, like, you see Astrid's new video, like that's one of the most viral videos in Europe. I think. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
That's mad.
Money she's after making from that. Simon has investments all over the UK. That'll work well for him from a business perspective. Yeah, be collaborating with bigger creators and getting money through TikTok as well. They're all going to be holding the same with Ed Matthews with his gym program and things like that. They're all I'm assuming a lot of money from it. So like, they're putting up with the hate that they're getting.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's all eyes on a product that they'll be selling or whatever.
It's business.
Yeah. But moving on, we'll talk about Man United. Obviously, you're a big United fan. When did you start supporting Man United, and how did you get into supporting Man United?
So when I was, from my earliest memories, all my family were United supporters. So a lot of my family are actually from Manchester. So a lot of them still live in Manchester, and they were all huge United fans. So from the age of, from 4, I had a tour around Old Trafford. I knew a couple of my family members knew people in the stadium as well. So I was able to get into like places that I shouldn't have been, really, right? But like, it was just unreal, like the whole experience, then going to the games. Like, Wayne Rooney was always my favorite ever player. I grew up watching him, Ronaldo, Roy Keane, Paul Scholes. They're all just phenomenal footballers as well. So yeah, it all kind of started from there. My family mainly being huge United supporters, and then you just fall in love with the culture of the club then as well.
Yeah. So how often would you go over the games then? Do you go over every year, or a few times a year, or what's the story there?
Twice a year I go.
Twice a year. And would it be a big match you always go over to, or is it just any match at all? Or
no, it's kind of any match that I go for. Like, some of them end up being bigger than other ones. Like, I was at Old Trafford for when Rooney scored that overhead kick. I was there for that game, which ended up being a big game. But then I was in Manchester the weekend. I went to see the Watford game. But like, that wasn't exactly a big game. The last, I went to another game with Bruno's debut. and that was against Wolves. They drew 0-0 that day, and they drew 0-0 the week. So I'm starting to think that I'm a bit of a curse now when it comes to was draw 0-0. But yeah, no, I generally go over about twice a year if I can.
There's no bigger curse to Man United than me. I've been to Old Trafford, I think 4 times. I always get mixed up 4 or 5 times. I went to see Man United versus Fulham when David Moyes was in charge. They drew 2-2. They put 80 crosses into the box. That infamous game. I went to see Man United versus Arsenal on, I think it was the last day of the season or second last day of the season. Must have been I think it might have been in 2015. It was the summer that United were going to sell De Gea. It was that summer.
Yeah.
And De Gea went off injured that day and Victor Valdez came on. I think United drew 1-1 with Arsenal that day. I went to see them play a midweek game against Man City and they got beat 3-0. And then I won tickets to Man United versus Man City earlier in the season there. So that was a good match to go and see. United didn't touch the ball and got beat 2-0.
No. It would have been worse to go see the Liverpool game.
I know. But you remember after that Liverpool game, Gary Neville said on Sky Sports after, he says they could go up against Man City in a couple of weeks' time and the performance could be worse and they could get beat 1 or 2-0. And that's nearly exactly what it was like because Man City just walked around. They walked around. United couldn't get anywhere near them. I don't even think they got a shot on target that day. It was awful.
You see, Gary Neville knew that because he knew what the repercussions of the 5-0 against Liverpool was. So he would have known that Ollie was going to go to Man City and sit back and men behind the ball and just defend spaces as opposed to people. And that's exactly what he done. I have no doubt that Solskjaer went out that day for a draw, for a 0-0 draw. It was all about damage limitation, like try not to let them score. That was it. So if you do that for 90 minutes, no matter how good you are, if you have a good solid defensive unit and you know where to be, you're not going to get beat that badly. So as long as he kept that scoreline under 3-0, that's all.
Yeah, but awful game to see. I'm actually going over again, but I don't. Well, when I say I'm going over again, I'm going over to Manchester in 2 weeks. The Atletico Madrid game. Haven't got tickets, but I'm trying my best to find tickets. It's like you would think you were trying to get tickets for a World Cup final. They're that fucking hard to get, and people are charging people an arm and a leg for them.
Yeah, they're about 250 quid, I think, for crazy.
That's mad. Where do you get your tickets? Or like you say, you get them handy enough, or
I know a lad who's a season ticket holder.
Right.
So I generally him twice a year and go over.
Yes. It's always handy to know a season ticket holder.
That's why I never go to the Cup games or the Champions League games. It's always Premier League games that I go to because like the season tickets don't cover Cup or Champions League. No.
Yeah. Just you're saying there about season tickets and the Cup games. I mean, I don't know if it's still like this anymore, but it used to be a few years back that season ticket holders, they had to purchase their seats for the Cup games and all that there. And if they didn't, they lose their season ticket. I wonder if that's still a thing. Do you know?
I don't think they lose their season ticket. No. I think if they want to go to a Champions League game or a Cup game, it gets added to the card that was used to buy the ticket, so it's more convenience. But they don't lose them. No, they don't.
Right. I think they did that a few years ago, and I think there was a big kick up about it. So they maybe changed. They maybe changed that whole thing.
Probably.
You say who's your favorite player? Was it Wayne Rooney? You say or
Wayne Rooney is my favorite player. Wayne Rooney.
What about your favorite Irish player? Take it you support the Irish national team, yes?
Yeah, I do, of course. No, my favorite Irish player is, and I know people are going to laugh at this because he wouldn't be big in Irish football, but Shane Long would be my favorite.
Well, I suppose he's probably would he be the most popular or probably the biggest? Well, maybe not the biggest now, but probably was the biggest over the last 10 years or so. I can't really think of any bigger players.
When it comes to the last few years, he probably would have been. But in history, there's obviously the likes of like Robbie Keane.
Yeah.
A few others there as well. But Shane Long was actually a family friend of mine, so I knew I grew up about 20 minutes away from Shane Long, so he like his brother now is best mates with my let's say uncle. So I know Shane's brothers very well. I wouldn't know Shane as well, but I would have known him over the years. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like sad to see, like in regards to the Irish national team, like in the 2000s and all, you had Roy Keane. Early 2000s, you had Dennis Irwin, and then you had Robbie Keane, and you like a real good players. Now most of like the Irish team are usually made up of championship players and stuff like that. There, it's fucking.
It just shows how far Irish football is behind. It's not even. It's just like I remember back when you had like there was like Paul McShane, like you said, Robbie Keane. You had Kevin Doyle, Shane Long. There was always good. There was always good Irish players that were playing consistent Premier League at a high level.
Yeah.
The latest one, like you said, was Shane Long. That was probably playing at the best level consistently. But now he was loaned out to Bournemouth and things like that. So yeah, look, it just shows that like Irish football. I know a lad that was playing on the Irish juniors team, right? He's a mate of mine that I know from the club that I play with, and he's one of the best players that I've seen play. Right, he plays. And he's extremely good. He's captain of his club, runs the whole club, and it's a big club. And he went on for trials where there was 48 of them, I think. And they said that he loses the ball too much, right? So their idea in Irish football is passing it from side to side and opening up spaces, right? Which technically isn't a bad way of playing football. But then you need players that make chances in a game or try to pass someone or try that long ball. And he was like, I think on the trial, he scored a hat-trick, and like in the game afterwards, he set up too. Like, and as a number 10, that 5 goal involvements in 2 games was unreal. But because he tried it, because he was different to what the standard team for is, well, then they just sent him home.
It's mad. It's mad. Like you can play with some like real quality players in like Sunday League or whatever like level you're at. And then you wonder just how good are the players that are even playing like in the top league in Ireland and stuff. Like how much of a difference is there compared to like the levels like you see maybe the best players in the league you play in yourself?
Yeah, no, like there is like a couple of my mates now played with Cork City, right? Lad now just after getting loaned out to crowd over he's playing with Treaty United now, from Cork, and his name is Cian Bargary. Or it's not Cian, is it? No, the brother is, no, it is, it's Cian Bargary, and he is sensational. He's going to be the next big thing out of Ireland, I think. There's a young fella that I know that I played against in the challenge match at the start of the year. He's not professional at all. His name's Rory Dowd, I believe. But he's a left back, and he's going to be absolutely unreal. He's not noticed to any of the big clubs in Ireland yet, but he's class. He's going to be the next big thing of Ireland, I think. Them 2 players are the 2 up and coming talents that I've seen anyway around.
Do you follow the Irish League?
I do, yeah. As in years ago, I used to play for Cork City, so I follow Cork a lot. I follow Shamrock Rovers a small bit as well. Galway United, I always follow them as well. But yeah, I do follow it. I do. It's just, again, standard isn't close in the Premier League.
As you're saying that you played for them years ago, was that like a youth level or what? Like,
yeah. Level, yeah. I played for them for 2 years underage. Like they invite you down for trials, and then you could play on the team for a while, and then you get to an age like when you're about 16 where they kind of know, like you start filling into yourself, you start filling into your body. Kind of know whether you're going to make it to the first team, and I just wasn't good enough to stay going. But I was happy enough to get down for trials from, like from my team, like, so I was happy enough that they fund all the trial, they fund your expenses to get down there and things like that. Yeah. So we spent 2 or 3 nights a week, down with Cork, and then a matching as well. So I was traveling like 2 hours a day, 4 days a week. But I was happy to get down there and play for them for a while. But I always knew I wasn't going to be good enough to play at that level, you know. Yeah.
Oh, it's good that you get like trials and all. At least you can say that you tried it and all that there, and then you know your own level rather than not going and thinking what if or what could have happened and all that
Exactly.
there. But yeah, what about I want to speak about the United squad now. Who are your favorite players in the squad now, and who can you not stand?
Right, so it's a bit of a hard one. I was thinking of this the other day. I don't actually. There's not many of them that are my favorite. That I actually like, but there's the ones that I do like. Again, some of them I don't. There's faults to a lot of them. Like so, like I know it's probably my favorite United player at the minute.
Bruno?
But yeah, but I think there's a lot to his game that he could improve on. You know, he's really whingy and like you're just like shut the fuck up and get on with the game. David De Gea, I because he's one of the OGs, like you know, he's one that's there. Again, a lot of faults to his game as well. The players that I can't stand, I couldn't stand Martial when he was there. Oh my god, drive me insane. Like, and the reason why I don't like these players, right? Pogba is another. Pogba and Martial, or just and Rashford, you could put into that bracket as well. Like the reason. It drives me insane that they have the talent. They're the most talented players in the squad, right? Martial on day again is one of the best players you see playing the United show. Paul Pogba on his day is the best midfielder in the world. He's class. But the reason Brighton so much is that when they're not playing in form, when they're not having a good game, like it happens there, they don't work themselves into form, and that's what annoys me. So I see Pogba against Atletico Madrid, right? He was losing the ball, and rather than run back afterwards, he'd rather foul the man. Do you know what I mean? Just so he doesn't have to run the hard yards off the ball. And off the ball movement and off the ball tracking runners is more important than what you do on the ball. I'm not interested in players that have no interest in the game unless they have the ball. That's what them.
I feel like I'm talking to myself here about football. It's class. No, I'm glad you like De Gea and you like Bruno. As you say, they always have the faults to their game, but everybody has faults to their game. Like you're not going to have the perfect footballer unless you're fucking Messi or Ronaldo a few years back. What's your thoughts on Ronaldo?
I think he's done. He's done. Yeah, he's done.
It's a hard one. It's like a hard pill to swallow. Son, like obviously I grew up watching Ronaldo and stuff. He's not the player that he was, but I don't want to give up on him. Like I don't want to give in and say that he's done, because like if you look, I seen obviously a compilation isn't really the best way to watch a player, but like seen a clip there the other day of like things like wee flicks and stuff that Ronaldo have done and almost assists that he's got, like to the likes of Bruno and stuff. Them give players good balls and stuff like that there, and then they've missed a really easy chance. Like if United were more clinical, and this goes for Ronaldo himself, but Ronaldo's goals would be fucking. He would have over 20 goals already this season. He would have a load of assists. Bruno would have far more assists than they have, far more goals. I just don't know what is wrong with Man United, and it's been a problem for 7 or 8 years. They just, no matter who they brought in, they just aren't clinical enough.
It's not even about being clinical enough. I've been saying it for years, right? And I'm still yet to be proven wrong. Them players in that squad do not work hard. It's as simple as that. Like I said, off the ball is more important than what you do on the ball. But the players that we buy are all players that love the ball, that they don't love off the ball. So like that's why I was like when we signed Bruno, I said I knew from him in his first couple of games that he was mad to get the ball, mad to create, but he knew his job off the ball as well. But United always go for that big name signing. They always go for market. And like Ronaldo, we need that are going to be working off the ball. And the player that literally comes out and says, right, I won't do as much off the ball as what other people, but I'll do this on the ball. Ronaldo could, even if he went on to score 20 goals in the next 10 games, Ronaldo's timing is gone. He's gone. He's an excellent footballer. I think the second best player of all time. Messi is number one, but Ronaldo he's again one of my favorite players as well. But he's done. gone.
Yeah.
His legs are gone. His timing is gone. His movement is still unbelievable. It's like second to none. His timing to hit the ball, because his legs are a bit gone.
Yeah.
Like even when the ball into him in a volley, he's hitting it off balance because he's not as agile as what he was. So he's done. He's done.
You think it's a case of like United obviously they got rid of sent Martial away in January. Cavani's in 1 week, out for a month. Who else? Green was obviously got his stuff. He's hopefully never coming back to the club. But you think United are almost too reliant on Ronaldo, having to play him every game and almost having to play him for 90 minutes every game. Like he played 4 games in like 12 days there in the last week or two. And like I don't think it's something you can be playing a 37-year-old, regardless of how fit he thinks he is. I just don't think it's something you can be doing. Because he will get goals and stuff. Like I think if you put Ronaldo into the Man City team, everyone would be saying, "Oh fuck, why? I wish United had him." You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah, no, like look, Ronaldo. The only reason why Ronaldo plays every game is because Ronaldo wants to play every game, and he brings a certain brand with him that United as a club know that they have to play him. When you have Ronaldo, you have to play him.
Yeah.
But do I think he's the problem at Man United? No, absolutely not. But he is going through a bad run of form at the minute when it comes to scoring goals. He'll get back to scoring goals, but that still doesn't. It's still not making up for the other attributes in his game that he used to have that he no longer has. You know, great intuition, great movement, and an overall great player. But United have far more problems than that. I don't think it's a problem that they have to play him every game. I think that's a Ronaldo thing anyway. But they need another 6 or 7 starting 11 players. They just recruited wrong.
Yeah,
all they have.
Yeah,
they recruited wrong.
I don't know if I don't really see this too much on TikTok, but Twitter is fucking notorious for it. People have an agenda against Bruno Fernandes. David De Gea, people have an agenda against David De Gea too, but the Bruno one, I can't understand either of them, but the Bruno one really, really, really annoys me because he's easily been Man United's best player for the last 2-3 years from he signed, and you get fucking twats on Twitter. I don't know what it is. They almost make me want to hate Paul Pogba. I love Pogba, but they try and say that Pogba is a better player for Man United than Bruno Fernandes is. And I just can't get my head around it. Like Pogba's been here for 6-7 seasons, and it's been the same story every season.
It's all got to do with this. It's like this new generation of people that are watching football, right? They're all interested in how good a player is on the ball, right? So they all love the likes of Pogba, Martial, even going from other clubs. If you look at Mahrez and Green, the type of silky footballers, and it's great. All eye catching. They all have kind of messy attributes. They're really on the ball, but I don't really listen to them people because that's not football. It's all well and good having one player like that in your club that is unbelievable on the ball that you can just hang your hat on. But when you have 4 or 5 of them, your team just doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't work. You need a balance of everything. Like Jordan Henderson would say, right? Yeah. Jordan Henderson, Liverpool. He's not half as talented as what a lot of them are, but he's more hardworking and more determined than all of them are.
Yeah.
So you need to have that balance in your team, and we just don't have that. Our best probably Fred, and he's about as useful as tits on a bull. You know what I mean? I care about our club, and the players that want to win for our club are generally players that are not good enough to play for our club. Then that's just the simple basics of it. But then you have players like Paul Pogba, like Martial, like Rashford, who technically are unbelievable, right? But they have about as much work ethic as my dead grandmother. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. But then the people on Twitter and the people on TikTok, they'll always say, "Oh, Paul Pogba is unbelievable. Martial is unreal." All because they're aesthetically pleasing. They're nice, silky on the ball. But listen, I don't listen to a word any of them say because they haven't a clue.
I think my problem is I follow these kind of people and then get annoyed by what they say. I think that's what my problem is. But it's
Very easy.
fucking but I like Martial, I like Pogba, I like these players, but they're the kind of players like people are like, oh, we have to get Paul Pogba signed to a contract. I'm more of the opinion if he signs a contract, yes, I'm happy. If he goes, I'm not too bothered because it's like Martial and Pogba, they blew hot and cold for 5 years, 6 years, however, whatever length of time they've been here. And it's always been, oh, we need this player to unlock Pogba. We need this player to unlock Martial. All this talking about unlocking players. Why do these players need somebody else to work?
Yeah, the best players in the world make the players around them better. They don't need players to make them better. Paul Pogba is a smashing player. He's unbelievable. But like if Paul Pogba doesn't want to sign a contract, well then fuck off. Simple as like Roy Keane said before, Man United lost Paul Pogba before and they survived. Yeah. And if they lose him again, they'll still survive. Yeah. Pogba's an unbelievable player. But if you have to get somebody else like a Kante to do Paul Pogba's work for him, so you can just give Paul Pogba the ball, well then fuck off. He's a toxic prick anyway. His agent is toxic. He's he's constantly full of absolute shit, or he's injured, or just talks him leaving, or he doesn't want to sign a contract. And then all the on-pitch stuff isn't good enough to support all the off-field bullshit, you know. So leave him off. Fuck off.
What do you think of? This is more of a thing when it comes to English players. But you get somebody like, is it Tchouameni or whatever? He plays in the French league. He played for the French national team. I think the first time people ever seen him play was probably about 6 months ago. But all of a sudden, Man United need to sign this player. He's going to unlock Pogba. Like people see a player one time and think, oh, this player's unbelievable. I think people are getting a bit carried away with Elanga at the minute. Yes, he scored a couple of goals. He looks good. He seems like he has the right attitude, but so did Rashford 3 or 4 years ago. Adnan Januzaj looked like he was going to be a fucking great player. We've seen it time and time again with Man United, and people don't seem to learn. They just hype these players to the moon, and it goes to shite.
You see, it's a lot of pressure on young players' shoulders as well. Like that's why it's always going to be a big risk signing players like Sancho, because big money, young lad, like it'll go to their head. Like Green was another one, had a lot of things on his shoulder. He was a great player, but look, I don't want to talk about him. He's a scumbag, but whatever. Yeah. But Elanga, I don't see what everyone else sees in Elanga, but saying that, when I person on Saturday, he's rapid. Like he's a good footballer, but Man United are always going to hype up their own players that they produce, and they've always been notorious for bringing through great talents as well. Like Charlie McNeil is a lad that I'm really excited about now. For the youth, for the under 23s, he's fucking phenomenal now. He's class. There's a couple of other players that have come through that I was really excited about. I'm not going to lie, I was really excited about Greenwood before he came to United, before he came to the first team, like I am with Charlie. But look, they're always going to hype up their own players. It's just the way people of Manchester are, just biasness, and they are good players. Yeah. You know?
Would you tune into the under 23 games often? Would you, or you just sort of?
Yeah, I do. I watch the under 23 games. Went over to Manchester. I was actually supposed to watch them play Derby on the Friday night. Ended up going out drinking, and normally I don't drink, so when I go over to Manchester, I go to the youth games. I went to a City youth game and all. I like going at young talent that's coming through to see who to look out for when they come to the first team. So like I know Chartier, I knew about Mason Greenwood, I knew about Elanga, Rashford, all these players. Queven Kelleher, I knew about him before he played for Liverpool. So yeah, it's nice to have a look at what players are coming through the ranks.
I always hear of like maybe 2 or 3 players, and then I maybe haven't seen them, but I'm always excited to see them. Like the young fella Hannibal, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I think it's Mejbri or something. But
Yeah.
I would be excited to see him play. And I think like coming up in the run into the season, they should maybe like United don't have much strength and depth at the minute. You look at the bench, you've got Jesse Lingard, who's probably leaving the club in the summer. You've got Mata, who's probably long past the sell by date. You've Matic, who I think is still a good player, but can't play every game. Obviously, you don't have many players on the bench to bring on. So I think your young fella Hannibal would be worth bleeding them into the team. Like I think he should maybe in that Atletico Madrid game. I think it'd have been worth bringing on, especially when you're able to bring on 5 subs. But like,
yeah, no, I completely agree. I think Hannibal, again, his surname always bugs me as well. I don't know how, but him and Charlie McNeil for the under-23s,
yeah.
I don't know what the risk is of bringing them on for players that aren't. Rashford on the pitch is just absolutely stonewall. Ronaldo on the pitch at the end of the game, you may as well go home. Charlie McNeil and Hannibal, yeah, I completely agree. I think they should be brought on, but I think it's all got to do. Do you know, like if you're constantly bringing on really young players, it's well and good, like bleeding in young players, but like you have to understand it's so much different under 23s, where they might have 3,000 or 4,000 to having 80,000 people looking at, or even abuse at them, and there's so much in the first couple of games as a youngster, like what Rashford done, you kind of make a name for yourself. But there's a lot of pressure on young players when they do come through that. If they don't do it in the first couple of games, they're gone. Do you know what I mean? So that's what they try and ease them in slowly but surely. But yeah, I do think they should be getting a bit of time now.
Yeah. What is your thoughts on Rashford? Because like obviously you've said he annoys you and stuff like that there. He's fell off a cliff in the last year and a half. Do you think that that's just Rashford's ability now, or what's the story? Because like I think people keep telling me, "Oh, he'll be back. He'll be back." I honestly can't see how or why he's going to be back, because he doesn't try. His football and brain is awful. His decision making is awful. Like I think the only thing to Rashford's game was running at men, taking them on, maybe cutting in and shooting, stuff like that there, and he can't even get that right now.
No, I don't think that's his game. I think the reason why Rashford played so well last year is because running in behind. I think that's the only thing he has to offer. So like when Rashford coming to feet, he's afraid of getting hit in his back. He's afraid to go for a header. He's afraid to go into 50. There's no point in him coming to feet. The best thing now for Rashford is running in behind and trying to finish it, because he has pace. He's a good first touch and a good finish. And I think he's a confidence player. So once scoring a few goals, but then he'll try new things, taking people on. But when you're not playing well, get the basics of your game right, and the rest comes along with that. Where he's trying to do mesmerising stuff, and it will come off the odd time because he is such a skillful player. But he needs to get back to basics, I believe. But I'm going to do it under a manager like Rangnick, he won't. Under Ten Hag, he won't, and under Pochettino, I don't think he will either, because the type of football that actually suits his game.
Yeah. Would you sell him if some club decided in the summer they wanted to buy him for whatever reason? Would you let him go?
It depends on the money that you'd be getting for him. So I do think that he is, like, if you get him into a team where he's playing to his abilities, right, and he's form, the chap is worth a lot of money. Yeah. So if somebody came in and offered 60 million for Rashford, I'd take it. Yeah. And take his hand off.
Yeah. So would I. I think I would even take less than that at the minute. I think the way he's going, he could be another Danny Welbeck in the next few years. By the looks of things.
I don't think it'll be that bad, right? The thing about when you're buying a player, you're buying a player for what he is at his best, because that's where is going to try and get a player too, right? So you can't buy the Marcus Rashford that you're seeing now. You're buying the Marcus Rashford that you've seen last year. I thought very good last year. So I think if Rashford played like he did last year every year, well, then the chap would be worth 90 million because his English is. I think the way he's playing this year, he'd be 30 million. So you just go somewhere in between and get 60 million. And that's one club taking a gamble and the other taking a gamble too. So if United hold on to him, he might be worth 90 million if he gets back in form. But if they hold on to him, well, then he might be worth 30 million because he's so bad.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Dean Henderson? Because I know like he got a run in the team last year, and people then say he should have played in the final. And there's also people say that if he hadn't got COVID at the start of the season, then he would probably be United's #1 goalkeeper. I personally think he's awful and shouldn't be anywhere near Man United.
I don't think he's that special either. I thought he played very well with Sheffield. I thought season with them, but I think he just got overhyped because of how bad the hair was at the time.
Yeah.
But no, Jesus, no. Get it, go away.
Class.
I have Tom Heaton in goal.
Tom Heaton's he's not bad. Like I'd probably rather have him as well. Who do you think United should sign in the summer? Realistically, who do you think they will sign, or who would you like to see them sign?
I know he's a bit overhyped, but I do like him. Is Lamptey? I do like Lamptey.
Right. Yes. Yes.
He might be the best at defending, right? But the modern day fullback, I think he offers enough defensively to make up for what he has going forward. He's unreal going forward. And I think both of our fullbacks are shit at going forward. I just don't like. Yeah. I don't see it being unreal, to be honest. Just kind of a tough one. I think that they need a fullback, they need a centre half, they need 2 midfielders, and they definitely need a striker. And they could do with a right midfielder at the minute as well. Though, like if you were just going all out to buy one big signing in midfield, which is what I think they will do, I'd go for Declan Rice because I think he's that. I said at the start of the year that he was the most overhyped player I've ever seen, but now I realize he's so overhyped. He's very good. If you were going for 2 smaller types of midfielders, like I'd love to bring in Gravenberch. I think he's class.
Right.
I like Ruben Neves. I've been saying it for ages. I'd like to say Ruben Neves. I said this now before Ruben Neves had this season. I said this
when he was in the championship.
I thought he was very good. And is there anybody else? A striker? There's a left back that plays with he's at Ajax. I can't think of his name.
Tagliafico.
No. He's only 19. I can't think of his name, but he's a young lad anyway. But he's really good. So yeah, they're kind of the players you'd be looking at. But knowing United, they'll probably go out and buy Aarons from Norwich because he's English, and buy Declan Rice, and they'll probably buy Harry Kane. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd take Harry Kane. So I'd take Harry Kane.
I do like Harry Kane.
So he's obviously going to leave Spurs this summer. So like it's just a question of where he's going to go. You know, he probably will end up at United because I don't think City will go back for him.
I think they will.
You think they will? You never know. They could end up going for Haaland.
Yeah, I don't think Haaland going to City is a thing. I don't think that'll happen. No. I think he'll he's gonna join one of the big giants, alright, but I don't think it's going to be City.
There's another player who's available on a free this summer, I think, and I think it's got Man United signing written all over it. I don't know how well it would work out, but Robert Lewandowski is rumored to leave Bayern Munich at the end of the season.
Yeah, it does scream. But again, I can't see Lewandowski coming to Lewandowski's like, what age is he now? He must be
about 34, 35. I'm assuming he's that age.
I don't even
think he's is he not
he's
that?
30. I don't know how old he is. But he's not going to be wanting to go to a team we're building. He wants to go to a Finnish team where they actually winning a league or winning a Champions League. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him going to like a Real Madrid or a PSG or maybe even a City.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Do you think Ronaldo will leave the end of this season?
I don't know any team that'll fucking take him.
This is the thing. It's particularly rival fans I see. They're all Ronaldo's leaving at the end of the season. It's as if rival fans are desperate for Ronaldo to leave Man United.
Yeah, you see, the thing about it is, right, I think that a Champions League team or any team in the world would take Ronaldo because of the brand that comes with it.
Yeah.
So it'd never be a risk because it's a great business opportunity, the brand deals he brings with him, and the exposure he brings with him. But I don't think any team that are genuinely challenging for the Champions League, right? I don't think any of them look at Ronaldo and say, right, I need him in my team. No, I don't like. Maybe before he joined United, maybe like he's a great lad to bring off the bench, like for if you need the last 20 minutes or that. But like I think that's all he'll be now from now on. I think that's the way he should be, though. He's 37.
Yeah, I think PSG probably be the only team that would take the risk on him.
Imagine Ronaldo and Messi playing the same team.
Ronaldo, Messi, and Neymar front three.
I'd actually. Mbappe is going too, right? So I actually think that it's probably the best place that he could go because it's a league that he's going to dominate. It's a league he has played in. So he'll win the league title, he'll win the domestic cups there, and he'll have a chance to win the Champions League again. I think that is the place that he'll go. I think you're spot on. Yeah,
and plus the attraction of Ronaldo and Messi playing in the same team would fucking make millions.
Yeah, plus the money he'll get. And look, Ronaldo's going to want to look back and say, right, I won this league and this and this and this when I was 30 age. It's the top tier of football.
Yeah.
So like, if PSG go in for him at all, he's taking that 100%.
Yeah. But I obviously PSG come looking, I think he'll go, but I think he'll stay at United. I hate to see him like losing and drawing games at United and not scoring and stuff and going off the pitch and sulking or whatnot. Like people make a big deal about Ronaldo going down the tunnel whenever they draw like 0-0 or whatever with Watford, but like the man loves winning. Like people expect him to be happy at the end of a game, or they like people blast or other players if they're smiling and all after getting beat or drawn, but yet Ronaldo's getting hate for walking down the tunnel unhappy. Like I really don't understand it.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. I completely agree. Look, he's just a born winner. Same with some of these lads are just born winners. They don't like losing and they don't take it well, no matter what they do. Don't ever agree with not going over and clapping the away fans. I just don't. The home fans, like they're spending their hard-earned money to go see you play. I think you should always acknowledge them. But no, I don't care what Ronaldo if he's kicking and screaming after a game. That's the attitude that you need. You know, winning mentality.
So do you think we'll make top 4?
No.
Oh no, fuck. Who's going to get it? Arsenal. Yeah. You think so?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know.
So after we drew with Watford now, if they win their hand, I think do they go 7 or 8 points clear?
I think we're maybe 2 points ahead of them, and they've 3 games in hand. But their 3 games in hand is Chelsea, Spurs, and Liverpool.
Yeah, but you see, I don't know. Like United are after drawing and dropping points in a lot of games that they should have won. You know, I know Arsenal have a few of them teams to play as well, but we still have City to play. We still have Spurs. We still have Liverpool to play, and we will lose all of them. Right? We're not good enough. We're not good enough to compete at that level anymore. So I think the fact that they have their games in hand, I reckon Arsenal will get top 4. I don't think United is top 4, and I don't think they have the mentality to get into top 4.
I think I know what your answer is going to be to this. Then, what do you think of our Champions League chances?
I think Champions League is like Liverpool have won the Champions League with a team that you wouldn't put up against that Milan team ever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they keep 3-0 down. Liverpool have won the Champions League with a worse team than United have now. Do you know? So anything can happen in European football. I don't particularly think we will win it. But there's always a chance.
If we get past Atletico Madrid, the only teams that I'd be feared of in the Champions League are the English teams. Like I would fancy the chances against Madrid. I was going to say Barcelona there, but they're out long ago. I fancy the chances against PSG and all that there. I fancy the chances against an English team in the final. I think over 2 legs against one of the English teams, I think we'd be toast.
Yeah, yes. I feel the very same, sir, because every team ups their game for a final as well. But like the experience of like Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool have in Champions League finals, will stand to them as well. But look, it's all the English teams at the minute that it's one of them that's going to win the league. But like you said, I fancy my chances against all of the rest, maybe bar Bayern.
Bayern are a bit of an odd one. Like I was going to say, they're Bayern have had a few dodgy results in the German league, but then you look at the dodgy results United have had in the league. Like, but could you imagine if United got to the final? Imagine a Man United Man City final, or a Man United Liverpool, or Man United Madrid final. Football is crying out for that kind of final. That would be class.
Yeah, well, football is just crying out for Man United to get it back again. Get some sort of structure back to that club, some sort of good recruitment policy into that club. They have a chance. But like Liverpool proved it years ago. I remember when Suarez came in, like and Sturridge was there, and they nearly won a league. Like often you're not as far away as what you
think. Yeah.
But I think United needs, like, apparently there's 200 million there to spend in the summer. There's going to be a lot of money for this new manager. I think that if you take next summer and take the January right, if they get the recruitment right, again, you challenge them for that league, and 1 or 2 players off. But I don't think it's going to be another 6 or 7 years or 8 years before we win the title. But they have to get it right, and we've gotten it so wrong for so long. Well, then if something has to click.
It's mad that we came second last year and then add Ronaldo, Sancho, and Varane and be worse off. Like, how does that work?
I think at the start of the year, Chelsea had Frank Lampard, wasn't doing well. Liverpool had an awful season, and like their standards last year with who they were missing. I think it was just an easier league. Like, I know we finished second, but really it was like City just dominated the league, and the rest of us were kind of shit, really. But it's the type of football, Ollie, like the games that we're drawing now, or the games that we go down in 1-0, they were the games that Ollie won. But I just think it's not the fact that we gotten worse this year. It's just our competition has gotten way better.
Yeah. Isn't it mad to think that ever since Fergie left, United were always like, oh, we need a holding midfielder, or we need this, we need a midfielder. We've signed fucking about 50 players. We've signed multiple midfielders and all that there, and we still need players in the positions we were saying 7 or 8 years ago.
You know why? I'll right now why, right? Because the player that Man United need is somebody that does the dirty work, right? The hard work off the ball. And there's very few of them players out there that are big marquees, which is why we don't. So if it was like, that's why I think Declan Rice is probably one of the few options to go for, because he's overhyped, right? That's why they might sign him. But that's generally what it is. They want to go overrated fucking marquee signings, so they'll bring in revenue. That's the way it goes.
But like, imagine United saying Declan Rice. Say they went and signed Declan Rice for 80 million or whatever it would cost. Like, that straight away has got like a Harry Maguire written all over it. Obviously, it might not be as bad as Harry Maguire, but like, you bring in a player at 80 million, an English player, and they're not a superstar, they're going to get hate from everywhere. Like, United brought in so many players that they've wanted and the fans have wanted. Like, they brought in Schneiderlin whenever he was at Southampton. Everybody, Schneiderlin would be brilliant in Man United's midfield, and he came and he was shite.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, the Memphis Depay was another one they brought on. This will be lethal. He was crap. Zaha came in and he was to be brilliant, and it fell to shite. Like, the amount of players that they brought in that were Di Maria as well. Like, the amount of highly regarded players, or players that done well at other Premier League teams, like even Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka was quality at Crystal Palace. Were like, oh, that's what United need. Brought him in, and now people hate him.
Was he though?
I liked him at Crystal Palace. I like him now. I think he gets a lot of unwarranted hate. I know it might not be the best going forward, but I don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be.
No, he's the same now as what we signed. I don't know what people. We signed one of the best one-on-one defenders in world football, right? And why Ollie went out and paid the money for him is because we needed a defensive player, right? But we also needed a fullback, which is why he brought in. It was clear to see what he was trying to do, right? So we needed to shore up defensively. Brought in Maguire, and wanted a fast fullback that would be able to take on most good left midfielders in the league. So you go out and get Wan-Bissaka. But like there was never a doubt in my mind that Wan-Bissaka wasn't going to be good going forward. You know what I mean? He was always going to be shit going forward, because that's what he was at Palace. He wasn't great going forward. But we have. I thought, like, people need to manage their expectations of what they want in it, not just quaff what everybody else is saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watch you're right. Yeah, just watch him.
Yeah. Everybody just wants their right back to be Trent Alexander-Arnold these days.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And really, if you can get a healthy balance of both, like Lamptey, I think Lamptey is a smashing player.
Yeah.
If you can get some in, you're not doing too.
Yeah. But Lamptey's another one. Like, I like Lamptey. I think he's good. But that's another player that screams, like, if you bring him in, they'll be like, oh, United paid 50 million for Lamptey, and what is he? He's a fucking Brighton player or whatever. Like that could happen with him. He could turn out not that great, like, once he gets United.
When you watch Tariq Lamptey play now, right, lad, I see him on the ball losing. I don't ever see, like, he's just such an exciting. You don't have to play him as a right back, you play him as a right midfielder. I think he's really, really exciting. Like, I think he loses the ball, keeps it simple a lot of the time, but then, like, when he does go on a mad run, he destroys everybody in his path. He's so small, great balance, agility. I think the chap is just going to be a superstar. I think he's class.
Yeah.
Don't often see players, by the way.
What was I going to say there? It slipped my mind. Who do you think will win do you think City will win the league, or do you think Liverpool will catch them?
I think Liverpool have it.
You think Liverpool have it? Fuck. Yeah. That'll be a disaster.
I also said this when City went, 9 points clear. I said that, like, there's going to be like City always said, there's going to be a drought there where they lose a few games, and Liverpool, I just can't. I can always see them conceding goals, but I can always see them outscoring the opposition.
Yeah.
Whereas with City, I know they win a load of games by scoring loads of goals, but again, I just don't see where your consistent lot of goals are coming from.
That's the thing. I looking through City's goal scorers, I think their top scorer is like Sterling or something with 10 goals. Everybody else is sitting with like 6 and 5 and 3 and stuff. It's like where are all these goals coming from?
You need, in a team that wins the league, I believe anyway, most of the time, you need somebody that's on form, getting you a consistent lot of goals. Well, it was Vardy. When you had it at Chelsea at the time, it was, who was playing up top for Chelsea when they won the league?
Costa, maybe.
Costa, yeah. When you talk about Liverpool, it's Salah. When you talked about, like, United, it was Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You always
a lot of,
I think not signing that striker is going to kill City.
Yeah.
And Liverpool now have unbelievable depth in the squad, which they were giving out about for so long. But with Diaz there, like Tsimikas, whatever he is, the left back, he's after coming through. He's good. You have Williams there for right back. You have Mane, Firmino, Jota. Like they have Salah, obviously. They have a good lot of
attacking players.
Even their keeper, like Kelleher, he's one or twos, you'll see. Like, so, like, I think that the only thing that was taking Liverpool away was the squad depth, and now that they have that and consistent run of goals and mentality they have, I think that they're going to win the league.
Right. Hopefully not. Well, because whenever they won the league last time, lockdown was in full force, and I think it was a bit easier to deal with it because you weren't out and about. You weren't seeing Liverpool fans. If you were seeing them, it was on TikTok or social media, and you could just scroll past. But I think being fuck Liverpool is right, and fuck Paddy Murphy too.
Fuck you, Paddy Murphy. That sound?
Yes, it's like a young cub or something on FIFA or something.
Fuck Paddy Murphy.
Class. What about relegation? Who's getting relegated?
Did you see my TikTok at the start of the year? I'm gloating about this, right?
Did you say Everton?
No, I done a TikTok 6 days after the Premier League started, and I said that Leeds were going to be close to relegation.
Yeah,
and Leeds finished. What was it last year? Was it 7th? They finished.
I think they were in the top 10 anyway. I think
they done really well. And wasn't second season syndrome. I just knew like their man market system is just if you play against a manager, they'll expose it. Like and I called it at the start of the year, and I still call it now. I think that Everton have the worst running. I think Leeds have an easier running. But unless March makes serious changes in there, it's Norwich, it's going to be Watford, and it's going to be Leeds.
Norwich, Watford, and Leeds. Well, you could be right. You could be right. I kind of hope Everton go down. Just
I don't know what it is, but I like Everton. I always did like the players. I used to love Martinez when he was there as well. I thought he used to smash him. But yeah, look, I suppose football is all about opinion.
Yeah. At the same time, I would love Leeds to go down, and then United could nab Calvin Phillips. I like Calvin Phillips. I think he's a good player.
I think Calvin is unreal. I think him and Rice, I put them in the same bracket, but Calvin Phillips very injury prone. Very.
Well, that's true too. You imagine, I think Calvin Phillips would be a lot easier got than Declan Rice would be.
Well, I don't know. Calvin Phillips is more of a silkier type player. But Declan Rice is definitely better, I think.
Well, anyway, I think we'll leave it at that. And that's just over an hour and 10 minutes or so. I'll let you get back to your work. But for people that's watching or listening, where can they find you at on social media?
On TikTok, DYLANFOOTY10. I'm not I'm same on Instagram, but I don't really use Instagram. I don't use Twitter. I'm not one for social media in general. I've done this for one reason and one reason only. So TikTok, at DYLANFOOTY10. Brilliant.
Well, I'm sure anybody that's watching or listening are going to know where you're at anyway. But anyway, pleasure having you on. And for anybody that's watching, like, subscribe, share the video, and do all that good stuff. Follow Spotify, YouTube, all that stuff. And we will see you again next week, hopefully.
Hey, thank you very much for having me, Chief.